Hey everyone, welcome back to the Elastic Coding Sessions. My name is JD and I'm a developer advocate here at Elastic. For those who are new, Elastic Coding Sessions is an ongoing series where we show quick and impactful coding demos designed to make search and AI work better for you. Today we're going to be talking about how to build an agentic RAG assistant using Elasticsearch and the new Agent Builder, and how these tools and combinations help agents find the most relevant information to complete its tasks. We'll be doing this in the context of fantasy basketball, but please don't hesitate to extend it however you want. You can easily apply the stuff we'll go over today to any other type of data sets you want to tinker around with. So feel free to engage with us in the chat or share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I'll also be sharing some resources in the description if you want to learn more. So let's dive into it. Just a little bit of an agenda of what we're going to be going through today. We're going to be talking about what's important in a fantasy basketball assistant and kind of the limitations around using raw LLMs, how Elasticsearch and Agent Builder helps out those limitations. We're going to be actually building that assistant with Agent Builder. We'll learn how to register tools, and we'll also learn how to build custom agents. And then we'll do a quick demo on the using the built-in chat. We'll also talk about how to expose your agent through MCP, and we'll plug it into Claude Desktop. And hopefully at the end, we'll have a few minutes for questions. And so in fantasy basketball, the most important decisions, or the part that has the most thought in it, is who to add to your basketball team, because you only have a limited amount of pickups, right? So you want to be real precise with who you add to your team. And what we want to achieve by building this assistant is we want an assistant that can give us quick insights and recommendations that are grounded in real data. So if I give it a query like, who's a better pickup for my fantasy team, LeBron James or Stephen Curry? Our agent will be able to grab the data from our index, the game stats, and base its recommendation, its reasoning in that data. So we know that it's not just pulling random data everywhere. It's actually based on real data. And we have two problems with using raw LLMs. Number one, LLMs aren't great at math, and two, again, a lot of times LLMs don't know where to pull the data from, and that can lead to hallucinations and that whole context problem. And how Elasticsearch and Agent Builder help that out is that with the math problem, Elasticsearch has aggregations built into it natively, so you can find stuff like the averages for a specific stat, and you could do that all within Elasticsearch already. And with the context problem, to expand on the problem a little bit, if you ask a raw LLM something like, how many points did LeBron average in his last 10 games? It might just guess, or, even worse, a lot of times it'll just hallucinate, because LLMs aren't really built to engineer that context. They don't really know how to grab the right data for to ground their reasoning in it. And that's sort of the problem that Elastic is trying to tackle with Agent Builder, because your agent is only going to be ever as good as the context you give it. And in a fantasy basketball or even an enterprise use case, bad context means bad results, and you need a way to guarantee that relevance. So just a short little picture on context engineering. It's not really one thing, but it's sort of a collection of practices to curate the context for your agent. And this is kind of where Elastic shines, right? Elastic has always been great at relevance in search. Now with AI agents, it's about giving that same capability to agents, helping them to cut through noise and retrieve the most relevant data at the right time. So when you think of context engineering, think of it as relevance engineering, and that's the layer that Elastic owns. So again, LLMs are prone to hallucinate without the correct data. Bad data equals bad results. That's a no-no. And we need a way to guarantee that relevance. And what we came up with is Agent Builder, and it's going to be released on October 21 in tech preview. And what Agent Builder is basically a framework to build agents directly on top of your data. Traditionally, building an agent means wiring together an LLM, a vector database, separate systems for logging and tracing. That can take a lot of time to build, as you guys know, and integrate all those. So Agent Builder kind of integrates all that into the Elastic Stack, the data, the tools, the reasoning loop, observability. And here's a little bit of the architecture. So with tools, you can register tools that execute queries or actions and expose them with MCP. You can build custom agents where you define objectives, workflows, guardrails, etc., and expose that using A2A in the future. And it's all powered by the tools you already know and love from Elasticsearch, which is, as you know, built on top of your data. So instead of building everything manually from scratch, you can focus purely on what you want your agents to be able to do, and you'll have that peace of mind that its output is grounded in real data. So let's get into it. Oh, quick note, I am using a serverless instance of Elasticsearch. And that's really cool because we do offer a 2-week free trial without having to put in any types of payment methods. So you can easily just sign up and start tinkering around. And once you have that up, you should be greeted with a page like this. And Agent Builder is actually not enabled by default. It's still behind some feature flags, but we can enable it with one command. So all we need to do is head into our developer tools here. Let's get rid of this boilerplate, and we're going to make a post request to our Kibana settings. Inside the request body, we're going to name a field for changes. Inside that, we're going to put Agent Builder enabled, and we're going to set this to true. All right, let's send this over. All right, so as long as you see the Agent Builder enabled user valid true here, you should be good. And if you look over to the left, you don't see anything about agents, right? But if we have this enabled and we refresh the page, we should get a new option in our navigation here. So we'll click into agents. But before we get started with that, we're going to need to get some data into our indices. And you could do this a few ways. You could do it programmatically through specific language clients. You could connect to the language client, use like a bulk API to ingest those, or you could just actually upload file. And we'll provide these files, these sample data sets, and we'll link them below so you can start tinkering. So all we're going to do is select our files. First one is going to be sample MBA data. Click to open that. We're going to click import. And we're going to actually go into this advanced tab. And make sure to pay attention to what your mapping is, because if we want to run aggregations on specific fields like assists, blocks, points, we're going to need Elasticsearch to see them as a numeric type. So like long or double, in order to run those aggregations, yeah, like I said, they're going to need to be a numeric type. And one thing I do want to change is game dates. It is automatically formatting it already, but to make it easier for our ESQL, I'm actually going to change this a tiny bit. So I'll copy and paste this for game date. And that just makes it so that we don't also include, the seconds and stuff. It just makes it easier when we build our ESQL queries, as we'll see in a little bit. So we'll give this a name, sample NBA data, and we'll click import. Perfect. So if you see all these green checks, you should be good there. And we are actually going to head into Discover just to check whether we have our data ingested correctly. We have our game date here showing up as a date type. So if you want to be able to search through dates, you are going to need to have this game date as the date type. All of our all of our fields that we want to aggregate over are numeric types, which is good. Everything that we want to search keywords for are of the keyword type. So that data set was ingested correctly. And we just have to do one more data set. Now, where is that option? So we're going to click upload file again. And this time we're going to do a data set for upcoming matchups, which is just basically a list of upcoming games for each player in our data set. So we'll click to open that. Again, we'll click import, click on the advanced tab. And again, we're going to want to change the game date just so it's a little easier for us. Everything else looks good there. We're going to name it NBA upcoming matchups. Oops. Perfect. Hopefully we see those green checks. Amazing. So let's head back into Discover to see if our data is there. It's in our index, has the game date, opponent team name, player full name, player team name. All right, so our data has been ingested correctly. Now we can head into actually building the agent. So we'll head into the agent builder here, and we do already include a built-in chat, and you can already start chatting with your data here. But what we want to do is create our own agent and create our own tools so that we have a little bit of control over everything that it runs, right? So just a little bit of an overview of the tools we want to build. So if we give it a query like, who's a better pickup for my team, LeBron James or Stephen Curry? Some of the tools we'll need is to find the next upcoming matchup for each player. Then we want to find the historical averages for each player against a specific opponent. And then we're going to do the same for the season averages. And those are sort of the quick insights that we want for the recommendations. So we're going to head over to manage tools. And as you can see, like I said, it already includes a bunch of built-in tools. Like this, for example, it'll generate an ESQL query from a natural language query. It'll execute that. It has tools to explore your indices. But what we want to do is have a bit more control, right? So we're gonna initialize our own tool. And again, we want to find the next upcoming matchup. So we're gonna say find upcoming matchup. That's going to be our tool ID. And the description, you want to make this a natural language tool description so the agent will be able to know kind of what the tool does. So we're going to say finds the next matchup for each player. And in here is where we can write our ESQL. So for those who are new to ESQL, it's Elasticsearch query language. It lets you search, filter, and analyze data through across your indices. Pretty much like a SQL-like syntax. You can run fast, expressive queries across logs, metrics, documents, or even vector data. So you can use it to filter, sort, join, stats, aggregations, all in one pipeline. And again, what we want to do is look through our data sets to find the first game that each player is going to play. So we're going to do from NBA coming matchup index. Oops. We're going to do where player full name. And we're going to insert a params here for player name. As you can see, sometimes it does infer the parameters automatically, which is pretty cool. We're going to sort by game date. And the sort order is going to be ascending. And finally, we are going to limit it to 1 because we just want the first game. All right. So we have our ESQL parameters here. We'll just give it a quick description of full player name. It will be a text. All right, so full player name. We'll save that. All right. So as we can see here, here's our tool that we created. Perfect. Let's head back. We're going to make another tool to find historical averages against a specific team. So our tool ID, we're going to do historical averages against opponents. Finds historical averages for each player against a specific opponent. All right, for our ESQL, we are going to do from our sample MBA data. And we're going to do where. And again, we're going to pass in player full name. That's going to be our first Boolean filter. We're going to do and. Again, we want to do it against a specific team. So we'll have another parameter of opponent team name. And we're going to say stats, and this is how we start our aggregations. Stats over the field of games played. Actually, we don't need this. We can just go directly into, we want to see the average points. So we're going to say, for a field of average points, we're going to take the average of the field for points. We also want assists. All right. So if we infer the parameters, we should have player name. So full player name again, and opponent team name. So we can save that. Cool. Now we can move on to the season averages. So we'll do season averages against an opponent. For the description, finds season averages for each player against a specific opponent. For our ESQL, it's pretty much going to be the same thing as our historical averages with an extra Boolean filter for game date for the current season. So we're going to do from sample MBA data, and I'm going to do where, again, player full name, params for player name, and opponent team name with a param for opponent team name, and one extra Boolean filter for game date. And we're going to say if the game date is greater or less than 2024. This was last season, but again, you can change this to match the current season depending on what your data set is. So 2024, around where the season starts. And game dates less than or equal to we're going to do where the season pretty much ends. So 2025, around June. All right. Again, we want to find the stats, get those aggregations, and we'll do average points. And assist. Okay. So let's infer those parameters. Should be all the same. Let's save that. Perfect. So now that we have our tool set, we can go ahead and head back to the agents tab. We want to create a new agent so we can give it some parameters, some guardrails, basically a playbook of how to take queries and which tools to run. So once you click that, some fields you can fill out is the agent ID. We'll do NBA Fantasy Assistant. And for the system prompt, this is something that you're going to want to kind of iterate over. It really depends on the model that you use, on how good it is at tool calls, how good it is at following directions. With bigger models, usually you don't have to be so explicit in your instructions. But with smaller models, you're going to want to be super explicit and kind of write down instructions for every step. So this might take a tiny bit of time. So I'll just copy over a prompt that I know works, and we'll just go over it. Okay, so why this system prompt works. Again, this is pretty much like a playbook for the agents. It tells its role, its primary function. I say you're an NBA basketball expert. Your primary function is to compare NBA players. We want to give it some guardrails. For example, in our sample data set, we only have these players, so we do mention them there. We give it some input handling rules. Like if a player only inputs one player, ask it to clarify and add another player from the list provided. Use the full team name. And pretty much saying that if it's anything outside of basketball, like do not answer that question. So also give it some instructions on tool usage. All right. And something to also note when building a system prompt, sometimes it's really useful to give it an example output, so it kind of follows that example output. I have here in Markdown, because when I do export this agent to another to a custom front end, I do want it to output in Markdown, but you don't have to do this if you're just wanting to use it here. So I say next game info, and I kind of wanted to organize the information this way. And at the end, give a fantasy recommendation. So here you can also add some labels so that so whatever you're using will be able to find these agents a little bit easier. We're just going to save it there. Oop. We'll give it NBA Fantasy Assistance, an assistant that compares two players and gives a recommendation on who to add to your fantasy team based on real data. We'll save that. Okay, now that we have that initialized, we'll head over to agents, and we'll show you a little demo on using the built-in chat. So on this dropdown, actually forgot to do one thing. So within your agent, you're gonna have a tab for selecting which tools you want it to have. Of course, we're gonna want to include our custom tools that we built. I do exit out of the generating ESQL and Actually, we do need to execute, because sometimes it'll fall back on these built-in tools, and I don't really want it to do that. I don't need it to generate an ESQL query. I just need it to run my custom tools. So we'll save that, head back to agents, select MBA Fantasy Assistant, and let's ask it a question like, who is a better pickup, LeBron James or Stephen Curry? Let's see how it handles things not being capitalized correctly. All right. And one of the neat things about using this built-in chat, you can see the tool trace in the response. It shows us the ESQL query that it ran and the parameters that it inputted. It does it for both players, so everything's good there. Next, it finds the historical averages against the Knicks because that's LeBron's next matchup, and it does that for Stephen Curry against the Chicago Bulls. It runs this query to find historical averages, and it also does it for season averages. So it's following the exact kind of workflow that we set in the system prompt. So it's all good there. Perfect. So it does show the aggregations here and the stats, and it says that LeBron James is a better fantasy pickup for this matchup. Awesome. That gives you an amazing edge when you're in a fantasy league. Can guarantee you that none of your other matchups will have this tool. And the way that it's configured now, you can only use the default Elastic managed LLM. In the future, you should be able to bring in your own LLM using the Elastic connectors. So, unfortunately, I think we are running out of time. I know I did talk about plug it into Claude Desktop, and I'll just really quickly show you how to do that. So we'll head back into agents here and manage tools. All you want to do is copy this MCP server endpoint and edit the config within Claude Desktop. And to show you an example of how I ran it, I check to see whether my Elastic MBA agent is enabled. I asked it the same thing, like who's a better pickup, LeBron James or Steph Curry, or who's a better pickup, Luka Doncic or Anthony Davis. It was able to expose the correct tools and run those ESQL queries with the correct parameters. Again, use the correct tools, and it did work in Claude Desktop. So sorry for going over time, but it does work pretty much as a plug and play with anything that supports MCP. And that's pretty much the tour. Just to give a quick recap, Agent Builder takes away the hard parts of wiring up those AI agents. So you can really focus on building experiences that are grounded in your data. And the key word that I want to emphasize is relevance. Again, your agent is only going to be ever as good as the context it has. And Elastic always makes sure that it has the most relevant information. Again, we'll link some resources down below if you want to learn more. I think we have a few minutes for some questions. Let's check the chat. Okay, this one's a good one. So, what are some considerations when deciding a large language model to use for an agent like this? So, when you're deciding on which model to use, definitely do your due diligence. So, what are some considerations when deciding a large language model to use for an agent like this? So, when you're deciding on which model to use, definitely do your due diligence on the capabilities of that model. Some models are better than others in finding in things like following your system prompt and tool calling. Some models don't even support tool calling. In general, larger models like the ones provided by OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, etc., are much better at following instructions without having to be too explicit. In comparison, if you use a smaller model, um, you'll most likely have to tune your system prompt and be a lot more explicit in your instructions at every step. And this can change as these models evolve, and there's definitely a lot more to it than that, but that's a good starting point. Thank you for that question. And I think we'll have time for one more question. So, okay, how does the agent decide when to call a tool and what helps it choose the right one? So A few things to keep in mind when helping an agent call the right tool. First, again, it can be heavily influenced by which model you end up using. Second, this is where a layer like Agent Builder can help a lot. It's a lot easier to restrict an agent to a certain set of tools, be able to define tool descriptions so your agent knows when and how to call that tool. And finally, maybe the most important is your system prompt, because again, it's basically the playbook that the model will follow. And in the system prompt, like we went over earlier, you can tell it exactly when and how to use which tool, when not to use each tool, what output you expect, and you can even give it a workflow. Like if you get this prompt, use this tool, then use this tool. Couple that with Elasticsearch's relevance engine, it can help cut out a lot of noise and make your agent more precise. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I hope you guys all learned something. And at the very least, if you follow these steps, you'll have an amazing advantage to win your fantasy leagues. Now it's kind of on y'all to build something. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to chat about what you're thinking of building. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ping me or visit our Discuss forum or Slack channel if you have any questions. Stay up to date with all the cool stuff we're building by visiting the Elasticsearch Labs. We're constantly uploading articles there. And finally, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you for the next one. Thank you.